What is going on, YouTube? We are back with another reaction. You already know who it is.
This power level gotta be Seth.
It's gotta be Seth. Hey, make sure you guys stick around and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000. I've been saying that like a broken record, but we are trying to get there. 1,000. 1,000 is not a lot, guys. Come on, we can get there. Just continue to like, share the video, and we'll be there. All right. And after that, the road to 10,000. And 10,000 isn't even a lot, but you know what? Let me not get ahead of myself. Regardless, I'm still really grateful. I just want you guys to know that. But I do see us getting there. All right. So let's make sure we get there. Now, we are reacting to the Dashcam saves driver from police money scheme. I'm curious as to how this is about to play out. This was the time shows, I think, 1/29/2025. So this was fairly recent. All right, let's go ahead and knock out this reaction and see what we got with it.
That's why you gotta have a camera. Cause they be lying. Police be lying.
This driver was pulled over for allegedly driving with a phone in his hand.
Trooper Deanna with the doorstep patrol. The reason for the stop, notice when you came up to the red light, you had your phone in your hand. You got your license?
So what happened when he told the officer that not only did he not have a phone in his hand, but he had video evidence of that because he has a dash cam.
I got a camera in the phone.
Did you see the guy?
So I'm assuming the trooper was reaching because he probably just saw the guy like this and probably saw him holding the phone like this. Or thought, not saw, but thought. But his hand was like this as he was driving. But you gotta be 100% sure if you say something. You know what I mean? You can't just assume.
I did not have my phone in my hand.
Okay. All right, thanks, Alex.
What did the officer do? He gave him a ticket.
All right, you are going to get a ticket. Any questions, call this number, paid on to that website. Sign here saying you received a copy of the citation. I'm
have
guilty.
my phone in my yard stripping for real.
So what exactly can we do? What is our recourse if the police lie about us? Well, if you don't have a dash cam, you're pretty much screwed. And even if you do, this cop didn't even care. Why didn't this police officer care, and why was he talking so fast? Is this an example of racial profiling? Or, hear me out, is this an example of an out-of-control government, drunk on taxpayer money, just going through the motions and burning as much of that taxpayer money as they possibly can? As it turns out, this wasn't just any traffic stop. This was basically a traffic safety enforcement task force who swarmed this town in Georgia.
On Wednesday, there was heightened police presence due to the Thunder Task Force operation, where the Warner Robins Police Department and the Governor's Office of Highway Safety stopped drivers at undisclosed checkpoints. Most of their focus was on those speeding, driving under the influence, or not wearing seatbelts.
Now, I am curious as to why it got to that point to have another agency to come inside and actually assist in doing traffic enforcement. It probably is bad out there. I mean, everywhere there's bad drivers, especially in our major cities, right? But even in Chicago, we don't have that. And Chicago is short about over 2,000 officers. So I find that really interesting, but it also does in some sort of way let me know that, hey, they actually probably did need the help. Now, who you got coming again to do the help is in big question.
As they kicked this off, the police chief there held a press conference.
I'm Chief Wayne Fisher of the Warner Robins Police Department. We are here in reference to the kickoff of Operation Thunder Task Force, which is part of the Governor's Office of Highway Safety HEAT program. We are partaking in and hosting this event, which began this morning at around 8:30 this morning. There will be various road checks and mobile enforcement points that take place.
So what this basically is about is money. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety grant that's given to law enforcement agencies around the state of Georgia. And they get that money just out of thin air, right? Best as I can tell.
So they get
all the
money for
trail.
getting
This
the
is all
assistance.
federal money, federal taxpayer dollars. All these different states, including Georgia, once a year, they apply for all these grants. And we're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're allocated for highway safety. What do they end up going to? For the most part, paying police officers and buying police cars. And if you look into it, I'll link everything. They have all these conditions And a lot of it centers around when they buy all these new police cars with federal money, they have to follow all these rules, including they have to maintain the HEAT color scheme on the vehicles that are participating in the project, which means bought by the money. These vehicles shall be black with silver gray lettering, see specification sheet. And then when you dig deeper into it, you can actually break it down by county in Georgia and by city, and they have all these different programs. And these detailed applications that they send to the feds, they have to show all the statistics, all of the tickets that they're writing, and so on. Well, they're getting all of this federal money. And in doing
My
that,
guy got
they have to run
receipts.
these operations. They have to pull over a bunch of cars. They have to create statistics. So it's about money first and foremost.
Distracted driving enforcement, which is what we're doing today. We bring them, they're all highly trained. They're out there calling out violations to the officers who can write the citations. It's merely about safety.
One of the reporters in this press conference brings up quotas. So the sheriff shoots that down and says, this has nothing to do with quotas.
Yes, there's absolutely no quota that's associated with this. Our officers' actions and intent is, as we stated, to be aggressive in our enforcement to the DUIs, distracted driving, and again, speeding and the aggressive driving actions that take place through that as well. It does not quote.
Hey, I mean, hey, I will say, if this is to get statistics up, now they technically might not be saying it within the department of saying, hey, I need you to bring in this certain number this night. But if they know, if every officer there understands that there's a need to increase the number in statistics to show that, hey, we're utilizing this whole setup for the federal taxes, then maybe it could be some intention behind it. Maybe not. Maybe a lot of POs out there are not even thinking about that. So,
but if we look at the written requirements that these police agencies are required to follow in order to keep getting this gravy train, it's typical authoritarian doublespeak. While they don't use the word quota, they include quotas. It says heat activity hours are a condition of the project. That means they have to pull people over. They'll no longer reimburse these cops just based on the salary of an individual. You can imagine how the reports were in the past. Police officers who are assigned to heat activity hours, pulling people over, must provide documentation showing hours worked, hours of pulling people over, and hours worked on the project, pulling people over, along with enforcement activity monthly, documentation that they have been pulling people over. Grantees receiving funds from GOHS must submit programmatic and claim reports monthly. Monthly reports must document and support the objectives and activities outlined in the grant. They must document the fact that they are out there pulling people over. It is about money, and it is about quotas.
Put on your seatbelt, slow down, put that phone in the glove box, and don't drink and drive or don't do drugs and drive, and you will have no problem with us this weekend. Otherwise, you may end up in the Houston County Jail.
So they're given all this.
now I definitely will say, don't give them a reason. And everybody seems, I'm not saying everybody, a lot of people give them a reason. Especially being on the phone. That's if they see you on if they actually do see you on the phone, then yes, that's probable cause to pull you over. So it's like, and I say that because that's probably the most common thing. A lot of municipalities can't really get you on speeding because they don't have a speeding device, speedometer, but some do. Some actually do, right? And so I'll say being on the phone and maybe speeding, that's probably the main two things that you can really get a ticket over, citation over.
Money to set up these checkpoints. Not looking for any person in particular, but just a dragnet. The Fourth Amendment prohibits our government from just seizing us without any reasonable suspicion that is particular to us that we have committed some crime. Ostensibly, they have to be pulling people over because they're observing them committing traffic violations.
Just like I
so
said.
they have all these cops standing out on the side of the road who are watching. But what if they lie? How do we even
Well, they
know
should be
if
watching.
they're telling the truth? Everybody has a phone in their car. They could just say, yeah, I saw you on your phone. when in reality, they were judging you based on some other reason. Maybe your bumper stickers, the type of car you were driving.
Now, okay, in this case, I think he actually is reaching. Remember when I said he was just sitting like this? And not to mention, you kind of sit like this if you're on the phone anyways. And the way it was looking while he was driving when they did the playback, if you're seeing from a side view, especially depending on the side, you might think, oh, he's on his phone. You should be sure and not just think that. But I think he might be reaching with this one, to be honest. But we're going to continue.
The color of your skin, whatever. And that brings us to what happened to this guy. He was an Uber driver. He had just dropped off his kid earlier. He picked up a passenger, and he's driving perfectly safe. He's not speeding. Fortunately, he has a dash cam recording everything. As he pulls up to this checkpoint/dragnet area, both he and his passenger observe all these cops standing on the side of the road. As he sits at the light, he knows that he has not done anything wrong, yet he's still nervous. He has that feeling like they're still going to try to get him for something.
So they're watching people running the light too. So they walkie-talkies, letting the cop that's sitting over there know.
And as he safely pulls away, once the light turns green, up behind him pulls a Georgia State Police SUV, and it pulls him over.
I mean, for what? For what? Like, what are you doing? The speed?
He's doing too much, bro. I mean, the trooper.
Hey, is tripping.
He's directed to pull into the parking lot of a local business, and as he does so, he and his Uber passenger are just sort of beside themselves because they both know that he had done nothing wrong. There was no justification to stop him. But fortunately, everything is caught on his dash cam.
Old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitor.
How you doing?
And it doesn't leave.
Trooper Deanna with the Doorstep Patrol. The reason for the stop, notice when you came up to the red light, you had your phone in your hand. You got your license?
I didn't have my phone in my hand. I got a camera in my
Okay, you got
phone
your
there.
license. Did you see the guy standing out by the road?
I got a camera in the phone there.
Did you see the guy
I
standing
did
out by
not
the
have
road?
my phone in my hand.
Okay. All right, you still live at 66?
I do.
All right, thanks, Alex.
I know I didn't. You lying. That's why you gotta have a camera. Cause they be lying.
Yeah, I'm glad he had that camera.
Police be lying. I got a whole camera. It's documented. That's why I got one. Shit like that. Cause they be lying.
And
Then, after riding what must be the fastest,
I think the officer who was standing there and observed him, thinking he had a phone, was a black officer. So I see they're trying to, I see he's keep hinting at this racially motivated, theme behind it, but that's not what I'm getting from it at all.
ticket that I've ever seen, the Georgia State Trooper returns, and there's no discussion about allegations. He doesn't want to see the dash cam, nothing. He's in a rush, obviously. He just issues the ticket. I wonder how many people this particular officer stopped that day.
All right, you are going to get a ticket. Any questions, call this number, paid on to that website. Sign here, send your city copy of the citation. I'm
I have my phone in my yard stripping for real. Like, yard stripping. What do I got to do? Do I got to sign this?
You can sign it.
Do I have to sign this?
Yes, sir. You have to go to the jail. Actually, can you leave it together for me? Thank you, sir. Drive safe.
I love his reaction to it. I love his reaction to it because he knows he did nothing wrong, and he knows that he has proof that he did nothing wrong. But to be honest, yeah, I'm glad he was recording it. And you're gonna get got over some BS, and these officers, some of them might And I want to say I always say it's the 95, 97% that's good. And the rest is just the very little percentage is like, come on, bro. Let's be real. And like, for one, he got tipped off by another officer that was just standing there. And he probably didn't see things, because it's not like the guy was driving really slow. He was going a fair speed and just drove past him. And some reason he felt like that was enough to be like, oh, okay, oh, you saw that? Okay, all right, I'm gonna get him. No. I mean, some cases, yeah, but stop and have a discussion. You didn't even see that firsthand. And the very moment someone tells you, oh, yeah, my phone is up there, plus I've been recording this whole time. Oh, okay. Do you mind if can I see that? Can I see that recording? It's as simple as that. The cop is completely in the wrong.
He knows that they were wrong. He knows that he had done nothing wrong. He has the video. So he does the only thing that we can do. And he exposes what they had just done. He posts his dashcam footage on Facebook. It begins to go viral. People get pissed off. Eventually, somebody at the Georgia State Police saw it. The Georgia State Police then goes and has that ticket dismissed.
The Georgia State Patrol issues an apology after a Houston County man says he
I really wish they got that trooper's name and badge.
received a ticket he did not deserve.
Dixon says he received a phone call Wednesday night from the Georgia Department of Public Safety apologizing for the incident. The representative told Dixon he'd seen the video online and would be tossing out the tickets.
But they still refuse to provide any information about whether the officer or the officers involved are being subject to any discipline for leveling false charges against this individual.
I also reached out to the Georgia Department of Public Safety to confirm what had happened. They released a statement saying, "When a matter regarding one of our troopers is brought to our attention, we take it seriously. Mr. Dixon was contacted directly yesterday by Georgia State Patrol personnel. After further investigation into the incident, the charge against Mr. Dixon was dismissed."
There's a couple big takeaways here. One is that you have to have a dash cam to protect yourself. Police can lie. Police can also be wrong, especially when we're giving them this financial incentive to go stand on our streets and watch us and try to determine whether or not we're holding a phone or just scratching our nose. And then they radio ahead to other cops who then pull us over under threat of violence. They get our ID, they run our background checks, they check for warrants.
Like I said, this guy keeps reaching. I think he's reaching a lot for the numbers. I think that's what it is. He's reaching a lot for the numbers. He's over-exaggerating it, guys. That is really simple. I think it's pretty plain and pretty obvious, because even a guy as smart as him, at the beginning, when you had that playback video, the driver was sitting like this. He showed it really fast as if he didn't really want to show it, but the driver was sitting like this as he drove past the other trooper that was standing right there on the corner. And I observed that immediately. And it's weird that someone as smart as him was not going to try to point this out, that, oh, with his posture, he probably assumed that he was on the phone. And that is not racially motivated in this case. So I'm surprised he's, giving this sort of response to it. But, and like I said, from what I observed, the officer who did observe him, or the trooper who did observe him, was a black officer, by the way. So yeah, it's kind of, like I said, he's reaching is pretty clear to me. But hey, that's how he got his numbers.
They're looking in our windows, looking for anything.
That's how he got his numbers, right? That's maybe his quota, you could call it.
That they deem as contraband. The government is coming into our lives. I mean, we're paying them to do this. This is financing more police cars, more police officers, overtime, all that stuff. That's why I think it's most likely here that either it was a complete scam and they're just saying that they saw people with a phone, or perhaps it was a mistake. But we can see that this trooper who pulled him over, he's not playing games like he wants to search his car. He's not asking him where he was coming from or where he's going. He's not trying to smell marijuana coming out of his car or anything like that. Like, he's
not investigating it yet.
And he don't want to hear anything about this guy was not holding his phone. This is a bulk ticket writing mission. the fact is they don't care if they make mistakes. This is not about public safety. Nobody's lives were saved because they did this.
Okay. But I mean, like I said, he's reaching. I have my firm beliefs of it all. Come up with yours, whether you go off what he says or what I say. But I think people should formulate their own opinion, and don't let someone else completely change their perception of something or make their perception of something. But that's my reaction to this video. I hope you guys like it. Go ahead and like the video. Make sure you stick around and subscribe, because we are on that road to 1,000. And you already know
This power level gotta be 7.
Thank you guys.